So in this video, I'm going to be doing an in-depth review on the Converse Chuck Taylors for skateboarding. I'm also going to be doing a comparison between different types of Chuck Taylors. So for the last week, I've been skating in Converse Chuck Taylors, and I'm going to give you my honest opinion on if they're a good skate shoe, if they're worth the money, and what kind of skater should buy Chuck Taylors. So if you're one of those high impact skaters that likes to jump down stairs and gaps, I would not suggest skating in the original Chuck Taylors. They make a Chuck 2, which has a Lunarlon insole from Nike. That version would be a lot better for you if you're one of those guys that jumps down a lot of stairs. But if you're one of those guys that likes to skate bowls or mini ramps, you're more of a transition skater, the original Chuck Taylors might be the shoe for you. The thing is, it's a really thin shoe, and I tend to like really thin shoes. It makes skateboarding fun again. Having that really thin shoe, being able to feel your board, makes it feel like the first time you ever stepped on a skateboard. It brings the fun back to skateboarding. That's what a lot of people say about companies like Welcome or Revive. They're bringing the fun back in skateboarding, and isn't that the reason we skateboard in the first place? You know, it's not about learning the best trick and doing it perfectly. Chuck Taylors can actually be an excuse, like an old school board. If you're skating a Welcome board, you're like, well, this isn't my real board, so, you know, I don't have to try too hard. If you're wearing Chuck Taylors, you can blame it on the shoes. Well, I would have landed that tray flip if I wasn't wearing Chuck Taylors, so it takes a little bit of pressure off, and it makes skateboarding more about just enjoying the moment. I don't know about you, but I always feel like that when I step on my skateboard, that it's like the first time I've ever stepped on it, and there's endless possibilities of new things that I can learn on the skateboard. It's always fun. So the Chuck Taylors just add a little to that. It's nostalgic. It takes you back to a simpler time and place where you didn't have worries. All you had to do was skate. So I'm comparing the two shoes, right? I'm switching back and forth, and I notice right off the bat that I feel way more comfortable in the rubber Chuck Taylors. But I can skate better in the canvas Chuck Taylors. If they're both real Chuck Taylors, shouldn't they have the same sole? Shouldn't they feel similar? So I quickly discovered that I was sold fake canvas Chuck Taylors. They lasted 3 days. If you learned your flip tricks in Chuck Taylors, it might be easier, but if you're coming from Vans or suede skate shoes, I struggle to land flip tricks in these shoes. It's way different. The toe cap is grippy. It's not slick like leather shoes. It's more like suede, but it's a little bit grippier than the suede. So it kind of flicks the board away from you a little more. It's just a totally different kind of flick. The rubber Chuck Taylors, the real ones, point up a little bit at the toe, while the fake Chuck Taylors are completely flat. The fake Chuck Taylors were a little bit better for flip tricks because they were more flat. The rubber Chuck Taylors are so stiff. It's like I can't flatten my toes. They're just like sticking up. And it just makes it weird to do kick flips and tray flips. I've been skating the rubber Chuck Taylors for a lot longer than 3 days, and they're holding up just fine. The sole looks good. The funny thing is, a lot of people say they won't wear Nike because Nike's not really a skater-owned shoe. It came into the market and put a lot of skater-owned brands out of business. But the thing is, a lot of those guys go to Converse, not realizing that Converse has been owned by Nike for a long time. Yes, Converse is part of Nike. So the group of people that Nike couldn't get with their SBs or 6.0s, they gradually picked up by introducing Converse skate shoes to the market. They have an iconic style, and they've been worn by so many famous people, including rock stars and celebrities. So that's going to draw a lot of people to this shoe. Chuck Taylors are basically the oldest athletic shoe that has been mass produced. They're 100 years old this year. You can stick some extra insoles in there to absorb impact, But then you're losing the thin sole, which is, in my opinion, the main purpose to buying Chuck Taylors. When you add extra insoles that are not intended to be in the shoe, you're making yourself more susceptible to injury. You can roll your ankle easier with a thicker soled shoe, and you're gonna have less board feel. So if you can find a really good deal on Chuck Taylors, they're not bad. It's worth the money, but I wouldn't pay $70 for a pair of Chuck Taylors. It's just not worth that. What I really like about these shoes is that the heel is not elevated. The distance between your forefoot and the ground and the distance between your heel and the ground are the same, basically. The heel might be slightly farther from the ground. But when you have a really thick heel, it's easier to roll your ankle because the side of your shoe can get caught on the ground and your ankle can just pop right over. I honestly don't like Lunarlon insoles because the heel is so thick. A really thin insole sometimes can be safer because you're not going to snap your ankle. Just recently at the skate park, I saw this kid try to drop in with basketball shoes. These shoes stuck out on the side, kind of like cross trainers, and he just broke his ankle, had to go to the hospital. Not just sprained it, broke it. That can take you out of skating for a long time. The day before your toes start ripping out the bottom of your shoe, that's the best day to skate your skate shoes. So I feel like these shoes are so thin already. When they wear down a little bit, they are going to be so good for skateboarding. The last time I skated a pair of Chuck Taylors, I threw them away way too early. I threw them away when the side of the shoe got destroyed. But now I know if you just keep coating the shoe with shoe goo, it's going to last a lot longer. So now I skate my shoes until the sole gets destroyed. I got these all rubber, solid white Chuck Taylors at the Converse store for $12.70. When it gets closer to summer, the all rubber Chuck Taylor is going to be really hot. Whereas the canvas Chuck Taylor is going to let in a lot more cool air. So you might be better off going with the canvas Chuck Taylor and coating it with shoe goo. So I really hope you guys enjoyed that video. I would definitely suggest checking out some Chuck Taylors. If this video was helpful at all, please let me know by liking the video. I've got links to some of my other videos right over there. And definitely subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.